What is up, everybody? I am NerdRage36, back with another pickups video, and this time I actually got a fair amount of stuff, not just a handful of games or even just one series. So let's take a look. First off, finally got a manual. It was actually just a complete copy of the game and in much better condition than the one I already had. There it is. And so I just picked up, it's not an expensive game, so I just picked up a replacement copy, and I actually used my original copy without the manual as a trade bait for something you'll see later on. Up next, these next two things are going to be a little weird, basically non-conventional entries in Legacy series that I honestly am not even sure what compelled me to check these out, but I kind of felt like giving them a look. Starting off, Yoshi Touch and Go, and I know that this isn't a typical Yoshi game. It's more like just not necessarily a mini game collection, but it's like there's no adventure, there's no like campaign mode. It's literally just go for the high score type of thing, but not like your typical go for the high score arcade type game. The best way I can describe it, based off of everything I've seen, is that it's basically like the completionist type of Yoshi gameplay, where it's like find all the red coins, find all the flowers, collect enough star points, like all that stuff that is synonymous with the Yoshi franchise or just the Yoshi standalone games. And it's basically just a score attack mode of that type of gameplay, which, honestly, that does kind of make a lot of sense. Like, since the Yoshi games are all about, like, finding everything and completing each level 100%, just having a quick pick-up-and-play game that's just the completionism of the Yoshi-style gameplay is a little interesting to me. I know it's not like a long game or something that you can really sink enough time into, like the other Yoshi games can be, especially, again, if you want to go for 100%. But honestly, I was just really like perplexed by this game enough to want to check it out just on its own, because like I know that Scott the Woz considers this a bad game, but then 1980s Gamer really likes this one, so I don't know who to trust. I made myself cringe with that, but now I just decided to give it a look and see how I think of it on my own. And it wasn't that expensive anyway. It was just just interesting. Sort of on the same vein as Yoshi Touch and Go, DK Jungle Climber. Again, just a really non-conventional entry of the Donkey Kong series. Although, here's the weird thing. I always would see like screenshots of this game, and I would think to myself, what is that? Just like a puzzle game? Also, I do know of the GBA game. I wasn't able to find that one. King of Swing, I believe that's called. But like I would see screenshots of gameplay. Still images don't really do these games justice, because like from a still image, it almost looks like it's a puzzle game or it's a high score based game, and it's not your typical Donkey Kong adventure. But then I actually saw some videos talking about this game in particular, and even saying it's underrated. And so how do I put this? It looks as though they basically took your typical side-scrolling platformer, like Donkey Kong tends to be, but then mixed it with a top-down platformer, kind of like Frogger. Although instead of going forward in a level from a top-down perspective, you're going up and down. So it's also kind of like the vine climbing from Donkey Kong Jr., and the emphasis on using the shoulder buttons to control each of Donkey Kong's hands kind of makes me think of like the bongo controls from DK Jungle Beat. And I would like to point out, especially because not a lot of people know this, especially when I say that I am actually looking forward to playing Donkey Kong Jungle Beat, you don't need the bongo controller. You don't need the bongos. You can just play with a GameCube controller, and you flick the C stick in order to punch and slap things. Anyway, but the emphasis on controlling each of Donkey Kong's hands kind of makes me think of the bongo controller, where you control like one side, especially in the Kong fights, that are kind of like a boxing match. And there's also a bunch of, well, not really a bunch of, from what I've seen, but there's also still your like collectibles, like not just bananas for a high score or to get another life, but there's like the Kong letters and coins and stuff, and just still images make this look like basically not a Donkey Kong game, but with Donkey Kong slapped onto it. But actually seeing the game played, there's a lot more connections to the rest of the Donkey Kong franchise than there aren't. And honestly, I just looked at that and I'm like, well, like with a lot of games here, I just wanted to give it a fair shot. I didn't really want to judge it based on the still images, even if I just didn't. Again, the still images do not sell this type of gameplay well at all. Like, honestly, like even still images on the back, it's like that does not look like a game I would enjoy. But actually seeing it in motion, that I will say, as much as I am a little disappointed with the way the internet and social media has kind of like veered a lot of these hobbies of mine into some weird directions, video footage of stuff like this is a big benefit. It's like, okay, that actually looks a lot more interesting than I thought. And again, with a lot of games I've picked up in these videos, I just wanted to give it a fair shot. It's also the only Donkey Kong game on the original DS, so it would have probably been something that I would need for the collection regardless. That is probably the longest I've ever talked about a single game that wasn't just a straight-up analysis. But again, that's just kind of what I've been feeling, because for some weird reason, like recently, I've been thinking about my DS collection. I'm like, do I want to get Jungle Climber at all? And then I just started like diving more into it. So I had a lot to say. Now, with those out of the way, I know that Yoshi Touch and Go and DK Jungle Climber, it's like, those are some lesser pickups, and like I've got a manual for Fat Princess, even though I already had the game. Or actually, I straight up just bought a new copy of the game. Anyway. But these next couple of pickups are definitely going to make up for, if you considered those two to be lackluster. First up, the Legends Arceus soundtrack. And you are now reflected in the case. But yeah, Pokemon Legends Arceus, the official soundtrack. I freaking love Legends Arceus. And one of the big things about it was the atmosphere. Like, this game is one of the most like engrossing feeling Pokemon games, and it's one of those things like I want to see this style done for like some of my other favorite regions, like Hoenn or Kalos. Like, I would love to see like, and I know there's a Legend ZA, but like I want like in the distant past. I love the aspect of going into the distant past, and with like nature and fog, like, the fog effects in this game, like that's something that I find it funny that a lot of people like bitch and moan about Pokemon's graphics, but if you saw the fog effects in this game, or even in Scarlet and Violet, it's like that's something they've definitely done very well in the Switch generation. And just the atmosphere of Legends Arceus is one of my favorite aspects of it. I love the whole game, but it just feels amazing. And the music is a huge part of the atmosphere, especially like the Jubilife Village track. I could fall asleep to that. It's amazing. And it's great to have just the whole track or soundtrack on disc for me. Yeah. On disc for myself. Why am I getting so tongue-tied? Up next, not a game, but something really cool. Yep, the official Gravity Falls journal. Let's see, what did I open to? Oh, open to secret agents there. Will Smith and Tommy Lee Jones, I guess. Nope. The Cypher, not Bill Cypher, but the Cypher key. This is just, I have no real reason to have this outside of, I like Gravity Falls and I like collecting things, but this is just really cool. I think everyone that at least watched even just season 1 of Gravity Falls was like, I want that book, and they made one. Actually, there was even a slipcover for the book that folded out into a blueprint schematic for, I think it's the Stargate that Stanford built, and the Gideon robot, and I think the Gobblewonker. I can't remember. I put the poster somewhere else. But yeah, the official Gravity Falls 3rd journal. Why did I pick it up? Because I like Gravity Falls, and I like having just these cool things. Back on to games. Dragon Quest VII. I got 4, 5, and 6 not too long ago, and then I just found this. And actually, what's even funnier is I recently got like a gift card from my job for just like something that I did at a facility meeting, and it I don't really want to get into too much detail, but basically I was rewarded. I think it was like a $25 gift card. So like, and this is somewhat pricey a game, but I basically like paid for half of it with just a random thing I got from work, and then it became a lot cheaper. And yeah, I am really close to not necessarily a complete Dragon Quest, but at least complete in the DS and 3DS family of systems. And I do already have 8 on the PS2, which I probably will play the PS2 version first, but like I've said a couple of times in these videos, I think handheld gaming is way too slept on, and having a really long game like Dragon Quest VII on a 3DS, just on handheld in general, is like a huge benefit. Of course, I will be looking for Dragon Warrior 7 on PS1, much like with Final Fantasy Tactics, because again, there is a parasite that lives in my brain that bites me every time it wants me to collect stuff. That's why I keep doing it. At least that's what I say to myself. And finally, so I mentioned that by selling my original copy of Fat Princess in exchange for the complete version, I sold it. And I did have a couple other loose games, just not really loose, but just incomplete, like Shenmue 2. I basically took a couple of games that I had that I now have complete copies of, or better conditioned copies of, and it didn't exactly equate to this, but it was definitely a decent chunk off of it. But something really cool: Super Mario RPG game and strategy guide. And what's crazy is I found the strategy guide first. It was like only $20. The official Nintendo Power strategy guide for Super Mario RPG. I'm like, did they misprice it? What the it's crazy, and I didn't want to jinx myself, so I just bought it anyway. It's like, yeah, like if it's that cheap, I am definitely going for it. And like I said, I made some trades to cut down the price for the actual game, because like I got the strategy guide, I needed the game. Even though I actually already technically have it through the SNES Classic Edition, but you know me, I like owning physical things. Although a mini console is technically a physical because it didn't require connecting to the internet to just get the game in the first place. So, I mean, yeah, but I do like having original hardware stuff, like a respect for gaming history. I do this sort of thing from a historical standpoint as well as just a fun gaming geek collector standpoint. And yeah, this was a huge piece of the Super Nintendo that I definitely would have needed. And I'm really glad that I found this for as good a price as I did, and I am looking forward to it. I don't know when I'll get around to it, but damn, it's really amazing to finally have that. yeah, that's this pickups video. Definitely a lot more than my past couple of videos with just only a handful of games, but and also a lot of variety too. Some non-conventional entries of legacy franchises, a soundtrack, something not gaming related, and 2 big RPGs, and also getting a complete copy of Fat Princess. I don't even know why that just stuck out to me there. But yeah, with all that, I am NerdRage36, and I'll see you later.